Maplewood Police Department.
Good morning. My name is Kevin Kish. Let my heart slow down for a second. I'm a retired police officer from Maplewood. With me are Josh Cumbus, Louis DeMea, Adrian Verdun, Byron Moon, and Matt Jones. Some of us are retired, some of us are still on the job. The only words that I could, first of all, it's kind of funny. When cops have to break down a door, okay, everybody wants to be the first guy. Public speaking? No. They said, can you do it? But the Father, you put everything perfectly in perspective for what Mr. Hollis used to do for us. It wasn't just our taxes. There was always a story, even though all our tax returns maybe look all the same or very similar, there's a different story behind those numbers for all of us. Whether you're single, getting married, going back to school, whatever it may be, having children. And as many of you have seen over the years, that line of people sitting in Mr. Hollis's office, every person there was treated as an individual. Very caring, very loving, very understanding, very fatherly. And it's just something, it was a unique trait. Like, I didn't know when he got hired in the Maplewood Police Department, everyone just said, oh, you have to go to Mr. Hollis for your taxes. You know, you had no choice, you know. It's almost like a policy or something. But then once you were there for, the first time, and you're like, all right, now I know why I'm here. And it was enjoyable, actually, doing your taxes, believe it or not, with this very kind and loving gentleman. I can remember 1996 when I got on in 95, and 96 was my first year going to see him for my taxes. Walked into his office, it was late at night, probably February, cold as could be, and I was the only one in the office. We were there late. And so we're just getting to know each other a little bit, and out of the cold into the office comes the chief of police at that time. And he walks in, he's got his overcoat on, he's walking in with this nice gift box of wine and 2 glasses for Ted, and he comes in, he puts down his paperwork. Hey Ted, how you doing? And he looks at me and goes, did this guy bring you anything? And so I just sat there being quiet, and Ted said, well, Chief, he's not exactly making your salary. He doesn't have to pay. Anyway, Chief of Police leaves, and Ted is still, working his magic on the computer, and he picks up the box. And the box has, worn, frayed corners. It was obviously that this box was a regift. And so Ted looks at it and goes, this is a regift, cheap wine. I'll drink it though. Would you like some? And I forget if there was a water cooler there or not, but he went and got 2 plastic cups, opened up a bottle of wine, which he had a corkscrew in his desk.
Always.
Pen, pencil, paper, and a corkscrew. Everything every accountant needs. And we sat there and shared a cup of wine, and while he did my taxes. And it was just a welcoming experience. And I'm sure that everybody here and everybody who had ever gone to Ted, that's actually the first time I've ever called him Ted, it had those similar experiences of being there, not with an accountant, but with a friend. Someone saw you, and he had hope for you to be successful in not just being a police officer and getting home safely every night, but successful in your hopes and your dreams of what we all wanted to do with our lives. And we can go on telling stories about that, and we all will for many generations. And I just have one other story because it's one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life. And thank you. And actually, Mr. Lewis never knew about this. During tax season, he was very busy. He stayed at the office late at night. And every once in a while, he'd have to get hungry and he'd take a walk down to Burger King, which was just 1 block away. So I'm driving a radio car down Springfield Avenue one night. It's freezing cold out, and I see Mr. Lewis. And there he is walking. Now, when you go to like a drive-thru or something like that, you get a burger, fries, whatever it may be, what's the first thing you do when you get in the car when you're a block away? You reach for those fries. So here's Mr. Lewis walking down Springfield Avenue. He's got his giant drink. He's carrying his bag, and he stops. He opens up the bag, pulls out a handful of fries.
That was Dad. That was
I
Dad.
have to say, that image, when I heard his passing, that was the first image that came to my mind. Because it was one of the funniest things I ever saw. And I looked, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's Mr. Lewis. Mr. Lewis with those fries. But it was also an illustration of that he was just himself and comfortable in himself. And he didn't think anything about like, oh, I'm an accountant, I have to walk straight with my numbers in my briefcase and my lunch or whatever. He was himself, very comfortable, and as I've said before, loving and caring. And we are all eternally in his debt for all the care and love that he showed us.
Thank you.
So thank you for
And you
giving it
honored
to
him
us.
with this, which I have in my hand.
Yes, his Silver Life card.
Yes.
When we used to have the Maplewood PBA, we used to have, back in the day, we used to have these grand Christmas parties. And Mr. and Mrs. Lewis always used to come. And they had fun. You guys were on the dance floor for pretty much the entire affair. But yes, several years ago, we were able to honor Mr. Lewis with the Silver Life card, which means that if he ever did get in trouble, hopefully the police officers that he was engaging would see him as a good friend of law enforcement and make sure he got to where he needed to go safely. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Anyway, so that's all we have to say about it. God bless you all, and God bless Mr. Lewis. He was a great friend.
Thank you.
Thank you.
He loved all of you guys.